Okay, this is a battle between me and Minijinx for the O&M leagues. First time I've played him, so I was quite looking forward to it. I led with my Spexments, and he's led with Tyranitar. I figured he probably wasn't going to stay in, having taken an Intimidate and being slower. So I may as well just Draco Meteor at this point, which should get good damage on anything. That's always nice to have, straight off the bat. Yep, so I've caught his Vaporeon, which is very nice, and that almost kills him. So I was expecting him to switch back to Tyranitar again, which is why I hop over to my Metagross to kill it with. And apologies for the camera being weird here. It decided to show me it can do all these weird effects, so just ignore that. Again, I figured I'd just go with Meteor Mash, just a powerful move. I'll hit something hard. And it's Gliscor, it's a 2-hit KO. I was hoping he'd expect a switch and try and set up Stealth Rock or something, so I try again to hopefully take it down. But unfortunately he roosts, which means it doesn't really do anything. I could stay in, try and get a crit or an attack raise, but he probably has Sand Veil and Earthquake, and it's only 85% accuracy to start with, so I switched out to my Salamence again. Now, at this point I was kind of afraid of him being Scarfed, so I couldn't stay in. So that is why I jump over to my Snorlax, I think. Sorry, camera's being weird again. Yeah, because I don't really fear anything he has, aside from maybe Explosion. Now, I was expecting him to switch here, just because Vaporeon's not going to do anything to Snorlax. Which is why I jump over to my Salamence. And then he protected, so he's probably going to protect again. So I may as well just use Dragon Pulse, just to hit something. Whoa. It's probably the best move I've got to be locked into. I could try and Draco Meteor again, but if he decides to sacrifice Vaporeon to it, then it'll mean something gets a free switch in afterwards, and it's a bit of a waste. So I've managed to hit Tyranitar for alright damage. Obviously I can't really stay in here, so I'll jump over to Metagross, hoping for a Stone Edge. And that would mean I can just Meteor Mash something again. Unfortunately he crunches, which does quite a lot of damage, so at this point I'm pretty sure he's Choice Banded, so that's nice to know. I doubt he'll stay in though, which is why I Earthquaked, just because I knew it would kill Vaporeon, Heatran or Tyranitar. Unfortunately though he's got a Celebi. I'll jump over to, I think I go to my Salamence, just because he's got a quad resist to Celebi's stab, and I'm not really sure what he can do to me outside of Leech Seed. Yeah, so I mean obviously being seeded isn't very nice, but you know. And now I figured he might go to Heatran to try and catch a Flash Fire boost off a Flamethrower, but I decided to Draco Meteor just because it hits everything hard. It's always good to wear down a whole team, and even though he resists it, it did about 45%, which is very nice. The healing from Leech Seed was a bit unfortunate, but it's alright. So I go to Snorlax again. He gets off a Lava Plume, it doesn't really do much. I didn't actually notice the Life Orb damage at this point, so I was expecting he was still Specked or Scarfed. So I stayed in, I Body Slammed just in hope that I could paralyze something. Unfortunately though, it doesn't happen. I got a crit though, which was nice, even though it didn't really do much still. Now I stayed in, fearing Pursuit, and because I wanted to Earthquake him, which I expected to kill him. Unfortunately I take a crunch, but I still survive with a fair bit of health, which was nice. And unfortunately he survives on about 1 health there, which is a bit unfortunate, but it means that anything should be able to kill him later on easily enough. At this point I just need something to take a crunch really, which is why I go over to my Weezing. And he takes it quite well, although it's still a 3-hit KO. Now I figured he'd be expecting a Will-O-Wisp and go to Heatran, so I decided to just Thunderbolt. Hasn't done masses, but it's alright. It's done a nice little bit. And again I'll go to Snorlax. Even if he explodes, it doesn't really matter that much, since Snorlax isn't walling much else. It's not got a lot of health left either. Yeah, at this point I was hoping to get a rest in, but he got a critical unfortunately, which meant that I wouldn't be able to take another one. So I decided to jump over to my Starmie just to take the Lava Plume, and also because his Heatran is probably only about 3 attacks away from killing itself, so that's quite nice. The more it does to itself, the less I actually have to do to it later. And now, I wasn't sure what he was going to bring in. I decided to Thunderbolt and just hope for Vaporeon. When Celebi comes in, obviously I can't really do anything to it. I figured he was going to Leech Seed me though, so I went over to Snorlax in a minute, just because something was going to die, and Snorlax is pretty much dead anyway. I'll just use it as Death Fodder just to get a free switch in for something. Yeah, so he gets the Leech Seed on me, which is probably going to kill me, but at this point Snorlax isn't really going to be doing much with 58 health, so it's no great loss really. On the plus side, I now get Metagross in freely, and I wasn't expecting him to be able to hurt me with anything really, being that I resist Grass and Psychic. I didn't especially want to be Leech Seeded, but I figured I'd kill him before it sapped any sizable health. Unfortunately, he knows Hidden Power Fire, which is quite a rare sight on Wi-Fi, so that's why I wasn't really expecting it. But unfortunately this means I can't really stay in. Again, sorry about the camera deciding to show off what it can do for some reason. So we'll go over to Salamence, who resists Fire, Grass. I get lucky avoiding the Leech Seed, but I know now that Dragon Pulse will 1-hit KO all 5 of his remaining pokes, or all 5 that I've seen, and then there's Disconnect.